Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsirin Namshir. On the News Mongolia today, Mongolia faces a record snowfall since 1975, impacting provinces across the nation. The Embassy of Mongolia in the Republic of France organized a cultural event during the Mongolian Lunar New Year festival. Mongolia and the USA pledge strategic partnership growth. For the news, stay tuned. Mongolia is currently experiencing an unprecedented winter with the snowfall reaching levels not seen since 1975. The National Emergency Management Agency has reported that the country has received a staggering 9.6 millimeters of snow per hour, which is 1.6 times more than the long-term average.
This winter surpasses the previous record set in 2009-2010 when Mongolia witnessed the heaviest snowfall of 8.5 mm per hour, marking a 1.4-fold increase from the long-term average. The impact of this winter is widespread, particularly in Bayorli, Ovskhovskhl, and Tuv provinces, where snowfall has reached 1.2-fold to 3.6-fold more than the long-term average. Additionally, parts of Bolgan, Dongov, Dorngov, and Khinty provinces have been affected as well, experiencing higher than usual snowfall levels. Ovs, Zavkhan, Orhanga, Tuv, Khinty, Dornot, Sukhbatr, and Dorngov provinces stand out as the regions receiving the most snowfall since 1975. Last December was the snowiest month since 2012, with 1.9-fold increase from the long-term average. January of this year continued the trend with 3.5 mm per hour of snowfall, marking a 2-fold increase from the long-term average and earning the title of the snowiest January since 2010. As Mongolia grapples with the challenges posed by these extreme weather conditions, authorities and residents are working together to manage the impact on daily life and infrastructure, ensuring the safety and well-being of the population and livestock during this exceptional winter season.
On the occasion of the Lunar New Year celebration, the Year of the Dragon, the Embassy of Mongolia in the Republic of France, the Permanent Mission to UNESCO, the Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs of France, Borrelia Publishing House, the students of the Science Po International Relations School, the Institute of Oriental Languages and Civilization, Mongolian scientists and researchers, as well as representatives of Mongolian citizens residing in Paris and nearby cities, organized a cultural event.
Mongolia's ambassador to France and permanent representative to UNESCO, Nyamho, expressed her gratitude to the guests and representatives attending to the cultural event. She also outlined the cooperation initiatives undertaken during the previous year and highlighted the noteworthy activities planned for the current year.
I think Mongolia is a country with a lot of history. We all know about the history Genghis Khan, about the role Mongolia played in Asia. But today Mongolia is a modern nation. As you can see here, it has brought us together for the Lunar New Year. And I think it is a country that can contribute a lot to the international relations of the 21st century. So we look forward to promoting our relations with Mongolia from India as well.
Je suis venue à l'ambassade de Mongolie.
Thank you for welcoming us on the occasion of the Mongolian Lunar New Year. It's truly an honor for us. During our visit to Mongolian Gir, we gained some insight into the customs and traditions of the Mongolian people. For example, I'm delighted to have learned about Mongolian musical instruments, traditional games, and national customs. Mongolian people are incredibly hospitable.
Leurs différentes choses et on a pu aussi
The guests expressed their gratitude to the ambassador and the embassy staff for providing them with an opportunity to learn about Mongolian Lunar New Year traditions, experience Mongolian hospitality, taste Mongolian cuisine, admire Mongolian traditional customs such as the del, and meet and interact with individuals connected to Mongolia.
Past year has seen a significant progress in the cooperation between Mongolia and France, and I anticipate that this momentum will continue into the new year, fostering further expansion of relations between our two countries and advancements in the realms of culture, education and science. Many Mongolians choose to travel, study, work, and reside in France, gaining valuable insights into the country. I arrived in France last year and have been teaching Mongolian language and culture to French students eager to learn about Mongolia. It's heartening to see French students making excellent progress in learning Mongolian. As a teacher, I'm hopeful that Mongolia will serve as a cultural bridge between France and our country, fostering fruitful cooperation in the future. It's worth noting that over 50 years have passed since Mongolian teachers first arrived in France.
During the event, traditional Mongolian ankle-bone games were introduced to the French guests, accompanied by explanations of the ceremonies and customs associated with the Mongolian Lunar New Year. Over the past year, visits to the embassy by heads of the state and government officials from both countries have been highly successful. Looking ahead, the summer will see the Olympic Games taking place in Paris, and 2025 will mark the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and France.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Bartitsak Batmokh engaged in discussions with United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken at the 60th Munich Security Conference. Both parties were pleased with the enhanced relations and collaboration between Mongolia and the United States, solidifying their strategic third neighbor partnership following the official visit of Prime Minister Oyurtan to the United States in August 2023. They agreed to ensure the effective implementation of the air transport agreement between the two nations, with a commitment to initiate direct flights between Mongolia and the United States this year. The American delegation expressed its dedication to expanding cooperation through the Peace Corps, particularly supporting English language education programs in Mongolian secondary schools. The significance of previous high-level mutual visits was underscored as having played a pivotal role in strengthening bilateral cooperation. Both sides committed to sustaining the frequency of such reciprocal visits this year. During the 60th Munich Security Conference in Germany, Mongolia's Foreign Affairs Minister Bartitsak Batmokh met with China's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Director of the Chinese Communist Party Central Committee's Foreign Affairs Commission Office, Wang Yi. Both sides highlighted significant milestones in 2024, including the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations, the 30th anniversary of the Treaty on Friendship and Cooperation, and the 10th anniversary of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership between Mongolia and the People's Republic of China. The foreign ministers noted the successful evolution of bilateral relations and cooperation in various areas. Emphasizing their commitment, the two nations agreed to focus on implementing infrastructure projects and initiatives to enhance conditions for increased trade and economic collaboration. The importance of past high-level visits in fortifying bilateral ties was acknowledged, with a mutual commitment made to sustain the frequency of reciprocal visits, especially in light of the upcoming anniversaries in 2024.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. Bruno Limarki, resident and humanitarian coordinator at the UN Stabilization Mission in the Congo, said the humanitarian situation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has sadly worsened on various fronts.
The resurgence of hostility in eastern DRC, especially in North Kivu, is deeply concerning. Violent clashes between the group called M23 and the Congolese Armed Forces, FARDC in acronym, have intensified leading to severe humanitarian consequences and displacement. Finally, the country is also currently affected by very, very severe floods affecting 2 million people and many provinces across the country, with the Congo River at its highest level since 1961.
He said the crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the most severe, complex, prolonged, protracted, and neglected in the world in a briefing Tuesday. The resurgence of hostility in eastern DRC, especially in North Kivu, is deeply concerning, and violent clashes between the group called M23 and the Congolese Armed Forces, FARDC, have intensified, leading to severe humanitarian consequences and displacement, according to Le Marquis. Marquis said the country is currently affected by the very severe floods and it is affecting 2 million people and many provinces across the country. Gender-based violence, sexual violence has reached a dramatic level with nearly 110,000 cases reported in 2023, which is probably the tip of the iceberg, Le Marquis noted. There are concerns a new disaster could largely go unnoticed because of the attention on the war in Gaza and Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
The United Nations Food Agency announced on Tuesday a temporary suspension of aid deliveries to northern Gaza, citing safety concerns. The World Food Programme stated that food distribution would be paused until conditions allowed for safe operations, highlighting the paramount importance of ensuring the safety of both aid workers and recipients. The organization stressed that the decision was made after careful consideration.
Recent incidents, including attempts by individuals to board aid trucks and gunfire encountered during a delivery convoy's entry into Gaza City, were cited as contributing factors to the decision. Furthermore, another aid convoy faced disorder and violence due to the breakdown of civil order during its journey north on Monday. The suspension of food distribution comes amidst concerning findings from a study conducted by the United Nations Children's Agency, revealing that 1 in 6 children in the northern part of Gaza was suffering from acute malnutrition.
Every time a family is displaced, they become more and more desperate, they lose some more resilience. And that's really a consideration when we are so worried about the threat of famine across the Strip. We know we can't reach everybody right now. It's impossible to get into the north.
This passage discusses the grave situation in Gaza, worsened by Israel's military response to an attack by Hamas on October 7th. The conflict has resulted in significant casualties, extensive destruction of neighborhoods, and the displacement of a large portion of the population. The World Food Programme has expressed deep concerns about Israel's plans to expand military operations to Rafah, where many Gazans have sought refuge. Since most aid enters Gaza through Rafah, any escalation of conflict there would further hinder relief efforts, according to the World Food Programme. The conflict began when Hamas-led militants breached Israel's border defenses, leading to violence that claimed the lives of around 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and resulted in approximately 250 hostages being taken. Despite a prisoner-hostage exchange last year that saw some hostages released, around 130 individuals remain captive, with a significant number believed to have died.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Thursday with more news and updates. Goodbye.